Hi there, I am Chris Ekpekurede. I'm an engineer, a writer and publisher of a number of books, and an elder in the Church of Christ. I'm your host on this channel. Welcome again today. Now, I feel gratified because one of the prayers that I have been praying for some time now seems to have been answered. Now, Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, our own country, has finally resolved to leave a legacy of free, fair, and successful elections in Nigeria during this year, 2023. Very pleasing news indeed. And my prayer is that God should grant him the grace to see through this lofty resolve of his. I want you to listen to Buhari. Listen.
So this change of currency, I think there will be people a lot of money. But time has been given from October to December, 3 months. Is enough, whatever money you have, to get it changed through a legal system. So I don't know why people are complaining about it.
So despite the complaint, there's no going back on the policy?
No, there's no going back. There's no going back. My aim is to make sure that Nigerians believe that we respect them as an administration. So Nigerians should vote for whoever they like from whichever party. Nobody will be allowed to mobilize resources and thugs to intimidate people in any constituency. That's what I want to go down into Nigerian history for.
Now, he says there is no going back on the deadline for the exchange of old Naira notes in our country. He says every Nigerian should feel free to vote for any candidate of their choice from any political party of their choice. That's what Buhari is resolved to do, to give us that freedom to elect a successor for him. I like that. He says nobody will be allowed to mobilize resources. And by that, my interpretation is that he's referring to illegally acquired money to intimidate people. Nobody will be allowed to mobilize thugs to suppress anybody. Beautiful. I hail our president. The Lord bless you. Finally, you have taken my advice to leave a legacy of righteousness behind you. I'm pleased. Now, Tinubu happens to believe that this posturing by Muhammadu Buhari is actually targeted at him. That Muhammadu Buhari's resolve to not change the date for the exchange of old Naira notes is actually a hurdle that he has deliberately placed in his path to scuttle his presidential ambition. Well, I sympathize with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I sympathize with him. You know what? When something is announced missing in the house, the thieves in the house begin to fret. It is no secret that Tinubu is one of the notable players, if not the major player, of bullion van politics in Nigeria. He is. You know, at a time when easy fall guys like Doyin Okupe are getting convicted for laundering money that is not enough to fund Tinubu's expenses for 1 hour. For 1 hour. The likes of the Jagaban are actually driving around freely with bullion vans in their convoys. Guess what? Buhari has scuttled the plots of these people to buy votes. These incurable vote buyers, Buhari don't give them rough tackle. Rough tackle. And I'm willing to play the prophet and prophesy that as from next week, beleaguered and unspendable Naira notes will be picked on Nigerian streets and in dustbins. I make that prophecy. They will only be good as from next week. The old notes will only be good for the museums of corruption and the archives of damned politicians. Now, soon after the death of the old Naira notes was announced, Dino Melaye, who has, crowned himself as Nigeria's chief jester, went to a social event and donated 500,000 Naira cash. Cash. Look, is anything too ridiculous for this man to do? The other day, he was falling down like a clown on PDP's campaign platform, trying to mimic Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his indisposition. Now, following Dino's act of doling out raw cash in public, immediately after the expiration of the old Naira notes was announced, the disdainful abuse of the Naira took a new turn. And the abuse of the Naira, for your information, and as we all know, has been on for decades. It's been going on for decades. The Naira is criminally squeezed when given as offerings in worship houses. It is criminally squeezed when it is exchanged at police checkpoints. The Naira is cheaply sprayed and trampled upon at weddings and funeral parties, and then swept together again with brooms into heaps. That's our national currency for you. The Naira is offered so cheaply that we have to carry bales of it to the forex market to buy dollars. And then we return with its equivalent here in our breast pockets. The Naira is swallowed in our country by mysterious snakes. It is buried and abandoned in dungeons and left to rot. Sometimes the Naira is suffocated in human braziers and panties. Our Naira notes are so dirty that we often count a bunch of them only at arm's length. Look, the Naira is an endangered species. It is an endangered species. Yes, our national currency takes a pounding from all of us. But listen, we haven't seen anything yet. In the coming days, there is going to be an intense rain of Naira in our land that will gratify nobody. Not even the beggars on the streets. Not even the beggars will find it useful. You see, the disrespect of the Naira is approaching a climax. In my thinking, this is not a season for any person's photograph to grace any of the Naira denominations. I won't buy my picture on any Naira denomination with a dime. I won't. But here is the good news though. If Buhari is able to see through his resolve to do what he has vowed to do, you know what's going to happen to our votes? Your vote and my vote will be like the oxygen that we breathe in the air. Our votes will be so precious, so indispensable, yet so immune to being purchased. Our votes will be impossible to buy anymore. This is a refreshing development. It is a refreshing development. Our votes will be unbuyable, at least for this election. Thank you, Muhammadu Buhari. Go ahead, etch your name in gold. Let them complain who want to complain. You know what? Those who are complaining about the deadline for the exchange of the old Naira notes are doing so because they are complicit ab initio. They are the guilty ones. They are the ones who want to stockpile money to buy votes but are now being roughly tackled by Buhari. Do you hear the Sowares or the Peter Obis of this world complaining? Do you hear them complaining? Now the bad guys, now then they complain. Now them, nonsense and ingredients. I beg, like this video, share the video, and by all means, subscribe. In the meantime, let me leave you with my wonderful wish. May your children resemble the person you will vote for come next month. That's my prayer. See you next time.